Today I am finally pruning my raspberries. Normally I like to prune my raspberries around February 10th. But this year on February 10th we had a big snowstorm and we had one that was forecasted to come. So I didn't want to prune my raspberries, encourage growth, just to then be covered by inches of snow. So now that we're finally over that long cold snap, it's time to prune the raspberries. Now I grow 3 types of raspberries, but my main patch behind me only has 2 of those. I've got my black raspberries over here and my red raspberries on this side. I know the recommendation is to not plant black raspberries with red raspberries because the theory is that black raspberries are going to completely take over. But in my experience, it's really the red raspberries that I have to keep back. Either way, it's probably not a good idea to plant them together, but I didn't know that when I planted them, so this is what we've got. If you're like me and you also grew your red raspberries with your black raspberries, let me show you the difference between the canes when they don't have any berries on them. First, red raspberry canes, they're going to have this reddish hue to them. And red raspberry canes are going to keep that reddish hue all the way to the soil. Black raspberry canes have more of a purpley hue to them. And when you get down to the soil, it almost has a grayish purple to it. I'm going to start over here with my red raspberries and then move my way down to black. First, when I'm looking at these bushes, I really only want 3, maybe 4 canes per bush area. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of all of these outliers like this one, and I'm going to go right just beneath the soil. That just helps clear my area where I'm working. Sure, those canes did have the potential to produce berries, but they would be so minimal and all of these canes here would shadow them out that it's really not worth keeping them. I'm gonna first look for the ones that are last year's canes. These are not gonna produce any this year, and they are going to be dead, brittle, and they're gonna have a different color than first year canes. This one is a second year cane, this one is a first year cane. Let me see if I can get in closer so that you can see a little bit better. As I hope you can see, this one right here has the bark of the cane coming off. It is a 2-year cane. It is not going to produce any berries. So I'm automatically gonna get rid of that one. Again, I'm gonna come as close to the soil as I can and get it out. Then I'm looking at this one right here. It is too flimsy. It's not gonna really give me much, so might as well get rid of it. Now I have 2 healthy canes in this area right here. So I'm gonna move on to another area probably behind. Behind these 2 canes that I just kept are a lot of first and second year canes. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna weed them out. I just wanna keep the first year canes. No, it didn't. Now that I know all of these are first year canes, I'm gonna come through and I'm gonna get any of the really skinny or flimsy ones and I'm gonna take those out. They're not gonna be needed. And I'm also going to be looking for anything like this that's coming at an angle because I want to have these bushes in more of a tight fashion than being spread all over the place. Let's see. Okay, I'm really happy with this little area right here. I feel like the raspberry canes are gonna be able to grow up, branch out, and the raspberries aren't going to be on top of each other. So I'm gonna keep going, and each area I'm gonna do the exact same thing and make sure that the ones that are standing up straight and the healthier canes are the only ones that remain. The big loppers. An old one and a new one right next to each other. This one is just too small. There's no need for you to be. I almost missed this one. What is this one? You're not needed. Not quite sure how this happened, but this cane, it almost looks like an elephant trunk. But we're definitely getting rid of you. Old cane. Woo! I can't really get down low for that one. That was unfortunate. cane. Definitely. I don't know what this is. You know what? I'm gonna get rid of both of you. Alright, let's get rid of you and get rid of you. First things first, let's get you out of there. I'm here now because I've cleaned up so much. Thank you for your service. Here? Ooh, I smell the mint. Where are you? My goodness. Right, this one needs to go for sure. There we go. Thank you, thank you. The raspberries were delicious last year. Let's get you out of there. And let's see, where's that one? Perfect. So we got 3 canes that are really strong. They're going straight up. Oh, this is from over there. Then we got 3 canes over here. Again, pretty strong, going straight up. Those look great. Nice and clean. Moving on. We're moving more into red/black, like they're living amongst each other. So I gotta be careful and not accidentally get a black raspberry cane that is a first year. So definitely not you guys. So you guys can go 1 and 2. Oop, I missed you. 2. This is a really nice, strong black raspberry cane. So that one's gonna stay. This one, eh. You are not needed. These 1, 2, and 3, these are all old cans. So I'm gonna immediately get rid of these and it's gonna be a lot cleaner. Okay, so upon further inspection, I actually think that all 3 of these black raspberry canes are old. So we're going to get rid of all of them. Ugh. But I am concerned because I don't see any other black raspberry over here. Okay, but I gotta get rid of them because they are dead and they're not gonna produce. All right. Okay, so while I have been inspecting, I've noticed that I actually have way less black raspberry canes than I've had in previous years. So that tells me that I need to be really careful about not cutting any first year canes over here. So I'm just going to be very mindful of that because I will be really sad if I don't get any black raspberries. So this one is definitely dead. So that goes. That was an easy decision. As is this one. No problem. Okay, I see that this one here, these are all really solid canes. So that's 3 beautiful black raspberry canes. This one. What's interesting about this cane right here is this part of the cane is dead, but it has a cane that's coming out the side of it, and this cane back here is alive, and that is in first year cane. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to prune it right here, and this part right here I'm also gonna prune because that's dead, and then it'll just be a little funky cane that kind of goes a little wonky. But again, I'm trying to keep all first year canes of my black raspberries because I just want to make sure that I get a significant harvest this year. Over here you'll see I've already done a lot of pruning, and that's because the old branches were starting to get stuck in my hair, so I had to get rid of that first. All of these are first year canes that are over here, so I am going to leave all of them. Because I am concerned that my black raspberry harvest is not going to be as big as it has been in the past, I'm going to do something that's very unique to black raspberries that might help me overcome that loss. Black raspberry canes like to do something called tip rooting. And that is where the end of the black raspberry will actually bend over and the tip will plant itself in a different spot. Now, normally I will get rid of this tip root because I don't want to have extra plants in odd places. But now that I've seen this happening on a couple of these black raspberry canes, I'm going to let it happen, and I'm going to deliberately bury this cane so that hopefully I can get an extra cane out of it. Just gonna bury this here where it's kind of naturally bending over and tipping anyway. And I'm gonna bury it with as much soil as I can. Now this is connected. It goes all the way around and then it comes down and it's over here. So if I'm lucky and this one roots up, I can cut this right here and get 2 canes for the price of 1. I see this one trying to do that. It's already bending over. So I'm gonna see if I can try to let it tip root right here. This one wants to do it, so I'm gonna try and let it tip root right here. And this one's going into the garden, but I'm gonna see if I can carefully get it to tip root back over here. Ugh, wish me luck. I was able to tip root this one and then 3 over here. 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully I'll get a couple extra canes out of these and try to save my black raspberries. The last thing I'm gonna do is prune any raspberry canes that are above my head, except if it's a black raspberry, then that's gonna stay. Right here. You are too tall. All right, so all of the raspberries over here in my raspberry patch have been pruned properly, and hopefully that means that I'm gonna have saved a few of my black raspberry canes. But in the meantime, I'm thinking I'm gonna try to look ahead and I may start another patch with just black raspberries because I will be very sad if this patch goes away. So I'm gonna try to save my future self some heartache and plant some new ones soon. Now I'm over here where my golden raspberries are, and you can already see some daffodils that have been popping up around them. But I'm just gonna do a quick little maintenance, get rid of any old canes that might not be producing this year, and hopefully it'll encourage these beautiful new canes. Look at all these gorgeous new canes for the golden raspberry. Hopefully it'll encourage all of those to grow and produce more than maybe a couple berries, because the last couple of years, that's really all I've gotten. It's just a couple berries here and there. So I'm looking forward to that. That was really easy. My raspberry patch is looking so much cleaner, and it's just making me even more excited for spring and berries. We're close, guys, we're close.